Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here. Today I might look slightly dishevelled because it absolutely chucked it down outside this morning and so I got a bit wet. Really wanted to film a book haul. I have decided to split this book haul into two because I have so many books. I recently went to visit Charlie from Charlie Book and Emily from Novelle Novels and we had an amazing time. That is actually going to be in a different haul video to this one because, like I said, I bought so many books when I was there. So I thought I would do this one today, which is going to be my everything else list, I guess. And then I will also then on top of that do another video. I don't know which one's going to go out first, but whichever. If it's already out, I will link it down below. If not, it'll be coming up next. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the books that I bought and the books that I also was given because they gave me loads. But yeah, today I'm going to talk about the other books, not the ones that I got when I was in Bracknell with them. So the first two that I want to show you are actually a little bit different than things I would normally read, but my dad had these and he really enjoys reading them, so he's given them to me now because he's read them. So I have two Beano annuals. We have, I think, 2016. What does it say? This one's 2016 and this one is 2019. So yeah, really looking forward to picking them up. It'll be a nice fun read, and I know that my dad really enjoys Beano and he likes Dandy too, and I think there's a Dandy coming up as well in a minute. Going along the same theme of books that my dad picked up for me, we have You Can't Take It With You by Jane and Mike Tomlinson. You may or may not know that Jane Tomlinson, she was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2006, and then she decided to live life to the fullest and to do loads of marathons and raise loads of money. She also did a cycle ride, I think, from San Francisco to New York, which is about 3,700 miles, I think. I could be wrong. But I really am interested in reading this. My dad I've read it quite recently and he really wants me to read it so he can talk to me about it, I guess. And I do love to read books that my dad's read so that we can talk about it. So yeah, this could be a really fun one as well. Obviously it's really sad because Jane Tomlinson actually passed away. So I don't know if that's in the book or I don't know quite how they managed to do that, or if this came out before she died, but I do know that she has passed away now. Up next we have Texas Ranger by James Patterson and Andrew Burrell. This is not a pairing that I've read before. I've obviously read James Patterson, but I've never read a book with him and Andrew Burrell, so it could be really interesting. I really like reading his collaboration books to see if I can figure out which bits that he wrote. This obviously, like I said, is a Texas Ranger, so this follows Officer Rory Yates, who is a Texas Ranger, and he's lost his marriage. He gets a phone call from his ex-wife, and then he is then a suspect in his wife's murder, and I think it follows that. I don't know anything else. It sounds really, really interesting, and it's a James Patterson book, so I'm probably going to read it anyway, even if I didn't think it was interesting. Then we have The Black Book by James Patterson and David Ellis. This is another standalone book, I believe. This follows a man who is a detective, and he is named Billy Harney, and he is left for dead along with his partner, and then he survives but then is charged with double murder, so he doesn't really remember anything, and then he finds a black book that he might have written something in before, and he's trying to piece it all together, I think. Don't know anything else really about it. Very interested. It's James Patterson again, like I said. Next up we have Dead Men's Bones by James Oswald. James Oswald is not an author that I've read a lot from before, but I have heard really good things. This again is a thriller novel. This is actually an Inspector McLean novel, which I haven't read any of before. So this follows a family in northeast Fife who have been shot and killed by by the husband in the family, and he is an influential politician, and then he turns the gun on himself, and then it's up to Inspector McLean to try and figure out what happened and sort of, you know, what the situation was and is, basically. Next up I have a really fun one. Again, these are all the books that my dad gave me. This one is A Christmas Carol 2, Contagion. And it just says, God Save Us Everyone, and this is by Charles Dickens and Bruno Vincent. So I believe this is Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, but it's been like written or rewritten over to make it about, like, well, it says on the back, much has changed since the three ghosts came to visit all those years ago. Kindly Mr. Scrooge and bad-tempered, paranoid Bob Cratchit are now partners. Tiny Tim is a drunkard jailbird and built like a brick privy, and the dead are coming back to life and walking the streets. So I think this is kind of like a zombie novel, and I've heard like this is going to make me laugh, I think. I feel like this might be one I read at Christmas time, but I actually haven't read A Christmas Carol before, so I feel like maybe I should do that first and then read this. Otherwise, I feel like you can't read this first before the original. Also guys, I should just mention, if you like this setup, let me know, because I think I prefer filming like this. I'm filming on my iPhone, and I think when I have like my own space that I can set up my camera in and kind of leave it there, but I have to take it down every time and it just takes such a long time. So if you like this setup, that's great, because I like it too. So let me know if the quality's good, or if you don't like the audio or anything like that. Just let me know what your thoughts are on that, because I'm excited and I really enjoy filming this way. I feel like I can film easier, if that makes any sense. So next up we have Nobody's Son by Kathy Glass. This is a book, it's like a foster care type book. My mum read a lot of these when I was younger, and I kind of started to read them. This actually is her book, I believe. This follows a little boy who's been in and out of care since he was born. And basically Kathy Glass, obviously this is a pseudonym, this isn't her real name, these are all true stories that she writes based on the people that she fosters, and she basically takes him on for a short time before he's going to move to his permanent adoptive home, and then it just says what happened next was truly shocking and called into question the whole adoption process. So I don't obviously know anything else about it. I don't really want to until I read it. I always find these books are really, really difficult to read because they're quite sad, but generally there tends to be like an outcome, which is good, and you kind of, I don't know, I just really like Kathy Glass in general. I think her books are really interesting, and I really enjoy like how she talks about the children that she fosters, and I find the whole foster system really interesting and totally inspiring, because people that do that I think are absolute angels. We next have Ultramarathon Man, Confessions of an All-Night Runner by Dean Karnazes. I hope I've said that right. I probably haven't, let's be honest. This one is again a book that my dad read. If you don't know, my dad is a massive runner. He really loves to run. He actually did like 7 marathons in 5 months a few years ago to raise some money. So he loves to read about like running and things like that. This one is about obviously an ultra marathon, which if you don't know, a marathon is 26.2 miles, an ultra marathon is like more than that. So a lot of these people run like 50 miles a time, like it's actually kind of crazy to me. But yeah, this is obviously about a guy who does ultra marathons and about that, and I'm really interested. I've essentially been like clapping and cheering my dad on at marathons and things, and so I've grown up with this kind of thing. So yeah, I'm really interested in picking this one up too. I then have an interesting trilogy. This is the Alive Ship Traders trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is what have we got? Book 1 is this, oh, they're in the wrong order. Book 1 is the Ship of Magic? I can't see what that says. Then we have the Mad Ship and the Ship of Destiny. So I don't know anything about these. They're really high fantasy, I think, and I don't know. Let me know. Do you think I should read this or not? I actually think these might be my sister's, and they might be just being kept here for now, but I'm holding on to them right now for her, so yes, we will see what I think. The next one is actually a book that will make you laugh, I think. I basically, you know, I used to get the chocolate in a book unboxing books. I used to get the box, should I say, and unbox them. I think my sister started doing the same because I raved about it basically, and she's decided that she wanted to do the same thing. And I'm pretty sure this next book she got from that. I think she liked it. I don't know. I haven't actually asked her, to be honest with you. I'm sure I remember her mentioning about it. This one is A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. This has been blurbed by Mark Lawrence, so I'm guessing that this is kind of like high fantasy style. I'm going to read the back just because I don't really know anything about it. It says, a race of warrior angels once defeated a mighty demon horde. Now the victorious Ben Elim rule the banished lands. However, their peace is brutally enforced, and their ancient enemy might not be as crushed as they thought. The giantess Sig must head west to investigate disturbing demon sightings, though the Kardashim are long defeated. And in the snowbound north, Drem finds mutilated corpses on a hunting expedition, a predator or something far worse. If I'm totally honest, this does not sound like something I would enjoy reading, but I am trying to read a bit more high fantasy and a bit more fantasy in general, and I believe that this is, I don't want to say that this is a standalone, and it's not, but it's one book that I don't have the rest. So maybe I'll give it a go and see what I think. We then have a book that my dad had on his shelf, and he read this, and as he was talking about it, I was like, I'm pretty sure I've heard Nicole from Beautiful Chaos of Books talking about this, and I was very right, because she has. And this is Lies by T.M. Logan. I feel like Nicole read this for the, what's it called, Buzzwordathon, when the word was lies. Have I just made that up? I don't know. Either way, I've definitely heard her talking about this before. This is another thriller. I don't really know too much about it, but again, sounds interesting, and if Nicole liked it, I'm sure I'm going to read it, even if, I mean, I don't know. but I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it too. Well, yeah, now I've just come to the bottom of that bag. I also have the Dandy. This is the 2016 one. I'm pretty sure my dad does have the 2019. He hasn't read it yet though, so I'm probably going to have that at some point as well. I don't really know I don't think I've read much Dandy, to be honest. I know I read some Beano when I was younger, but I don't know that Dandy was the one that I kind of stuck with. So yeah, this could be interesting too. Next up, we have 6 books that I was influenced. Now, as I said, I'm doing a separate book haul that Charlie and Emily I bought with them. But before I even went there, Charlie sent me a message saying, just so you know, there's a few books on, I'll show you the books that she mentioned to me, but there was 2 books that she was trying to tell me about on the Works website. Now, I've never shopped on the Works website before, if I'm totally honest, and hadn't even thought about it before, but they have 3 for £5 books, and there were some crackers on there, so I thought, do you know what? I'm going to pick them up anyway. So the first one that I got is How Hard Can Love Be by Holly Bourne. I read the first one in this sort of companion series, Am I Normal Yet by Holly Bourne, which is about a girl with OCD, and I loved that book so much. And like I said, this is the second one in that series, and I love Holly Bourne in general. Like, I've watched a lot of interviews with her, and she's just an absolute gem of a person, so I'm very much happy to support her, and this book sounds amazing. And also the cover of this, I absolutely love it so much. The next book I got from that order is Almost Love by Louise O'Neill. I've read Asking for It by Louise O'Neill, and I love that book. This, I don't know exactly about it. All I know is that it follows a woman who falls for a man who's 20 years older than her. And one of the lines on the back here says, "Love is supposed to hurt, isn't it?" And I don't know about that, but that just makes me kind of really angry. But yeah, I feel like this could be really interesting, and there's something about this cover that just really draws me in as well. So yes, I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. And also, it's not very long at all. Then we have the books that Charlie was telling me about, hence why I picked this order up in general. This is Sweet Pea and In Bloom by CJ Scoos. I saw this first on Leanne from Literary Diversion's channel, and then Nicole raved about it, and more recently I've seen it on Victoria from What Victoria Read, who, by the way, is a channel you definitely need to check out because she's amazing, and I love her taste in books. And she's actually picked Sweet Pea for the Thriller-a-thon in August. It's the end of August, and I can't wait for the Thriller-a-thon. I'm very excited about it. I've already written my TBR, so that will be coming out at some point. But Sweet Pea is obviously the first one, and In Bloom is the second. I believe it follows a girl named Rhiannon Lewis, who seems like the average girl next door, but she's actually a serial killer. That sounds amazing to me. And now I have the first 2 books, and I got these literally in the 3 for £5, which I think is amazing. So if you haven't got them yet and you're really interested, definitely go on the Works website because they're on there and they are amazing and beautiful. Then I have a book that is definitely from Emily from Novel Novels, and the reason I picked this up is because she loves this author, and I watched her review of this book and she gushed about it, and I just made me want to read it. And this is If You Could Go Anywhere by Paige Toon. I haven't read any Paige Toon books for a long time, and I have another book of hers that I bought, I want to say it was a couple of weeks ago, and then obviously this was on the website again, 3 for £5, amazing. And I thought, do you know what, I'm going to get this because, like I said, Emily loves this author so much. And also Paige Toon is doing a book like tour thing with Louise from with Louise Pentland, who used to be Sprinkle of Glitter on YouTube, and I love Louise and would love to support her as well. So I think the 2 of them together are a great combination. So yes, excited to have this one. And then the final book I got in that, I got 6 books for £10. This is The Dead Ex by Jane Corey. I think I've got another Jane Corey book that I own, and I don't know, glancing at my shelves over there as if I'm definitely not going to be able to see them because most of my books are downstairs. So this follows a woman whose husband leaves her when she gets attacked and ends up suffering with epilepsy. He leaves and runs away with a mistress. She gets a call to say that he's missing, and then she is then suspected of killing him because he is dead. Yeah, I am excited about this one again. The only problem with this one is it came like, it's really small. Now, I don't have a problem with books in terms of like the size of the book, but something about this really annoyed me when it came and all the others were the same size, and then this was like a mini one. But like I said, I don't really mind. The pages, it means that the pages are smaller to read as well, so I guess that's true. But yeah, looking forward to this one. Again, this is another thriller. I then picked up Christmas Cakes and Mistletoe Nights by Carol Matthews. I've got a few Carol Matthews books and I really enjoy her writing. This is kind of like chick litty, and obviously this one is specifically a Christmassy type one, so I probably will read this around Christmas time. And I just love this cover. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. When I went to the charity shop this time in my town, I also picked up, I think, 3 books that were completely out of my comfort zone, not books that I'd really, well, not even that, just 3 books I'd never heard of before. A couple of them were really out of my comfort zone, another one is just an author that I've not heard of before, so I wanted to branch out and try something a bit different. So the first one I've got is The Harmony Silk Factory by Tash Orr. This is, I believe, a historical fiction book. I think it's a debut novel as well, which I think is really exciting. And this takes place in 1940, and it's about the Japanese about to invade Malaysia, and the 2 main characters are on honeymoon. And I don't really know anything else about it, apart from it's kind of like a family story and a historical fiction story. Yeah, I'm quite excited. Again, like I said, this is not something that I would ordinarily have picked up, but I just decided to branch out and try something new. And yeah, this is really exciting to me. Next up, you'll note, I don't know if I mentioned in a recent video, I think I did it on my bookshelf tour, I'm pretty sure that's where it was. I mentioned The Force of Nature by Jane Harper, and how I thought it was the first book in a series, or the first book, or just the standalone by Jane Harper, and then I realised that The Dry was actually the first book in this series and it's the sequel. And then I found The Dry by Jane Harper in the charity shop the other day, and I was like, do you know what, that's really, really great, because now I can read this and then read the sequel. I think this follows, it's set in Australia, and it's about, there's a massive drought and people are being murdered. And it has my favourite thing, which is when a policeman returns to the hometown, like their hometown, and then that's like one of my favourite thriller tropes. I'll just say that. So yeah, this could be really interesting and I'm very excited to read it. Another one inspired by Emily from Novel Novels. She was reading this recently and I know that she really enjoyed it. This is When God Was... Oh, that's really bad. This is When God Was a Rabbit by Sarah Winman. I've heard amazing things about Sarah Winman, and like I said, Emily was reading this. I don't know anything about it. It's a book about a brother and a sister. It's a book about love in all its forms. That sounds great, and I just find the whole thing really funny, and it has a rabbit on it, which is cute. Yeah, this could be fun. Then we have the other one that was really out of my comfort zone, but I decided to pick it up. This is Sweet Française by Irene Nemirovsky. I didn't realise this until reading the back, but this is basically a novel set in France in 1940, and it's to do with the Nazis and about World War II. However, this was written, so Irene Nemirovsky actually died in Auschwitz, and she never saw this book get published because her daughter found it after she died and published it. I know that this is now a movie. I think this has it's got Kristen Scott in it, and I also think that this has got it says on the back that it's got Michelle Williams as well, so this could be really fun. It sounds really good, and like I said, I don't really know anything about it, but actually I feel really good that I've got this now, especially knowing that the author unfortunately passed away, so especially in such a horrendous situation. So yeah, I'm looking forward to picking this one up, and it's historical fiction, so I'm sure I'm going to love it anyway. I then got Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan. This is the 4th book in the Percy Jackson series. I've read the first 3 and really liked them, and I really wanted to get on to the next one. So I need to read this one, and I've got one more. I think it's The Last Olympian, and then I can carry on with Rick Riordan's series. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I always love a bit of Percy Jackson anyway, so yes, it's definitely exciting to have this one in my collection. Guys, we've still got quite a few more, and that's just this haul, let alone the other one. Sorry about that. So the next one I have is very exciting. This is The Retreat by Sherry Smith, and I was actually sent this one by the publishers. My first ever crime novel by the publishers. This is a thriller, and it comes out on the 19th of August, which is really exciting. I can't wait to read this one. I love this cover. I think it's gorgeous. So this one follows a lady named Katie Manning, who was a child star, and then in her mid-teens her manager attacked her and permanently scarred her face, which ended her career. And now she's 27 and she is trying to, well, her and some of her friends go to like this wellness retreat, and at the bottom it says, each woman has come to the retreat for different reasons. Each has her secrets to hide, and at the end of this weekend only one will be left standing. This sounds amazing. It says there's an explosive ending, a dark and twisty plot, clever and remarkable. I mean, I don't even know what to say apart from this sounds really great. And I'm really, really thankful to Titan Books for sending me this, because, I mean, I could not be happier. I'm so excited about it. Next up is a book that I was actually given by my lovely friends Lorraine and Chris that I work with, and they bought me this for my birthday, which was at the beginning of July. This is An Unwanted Guest by Shari Lapina. When I opened this, I had a little moment where I thought, oh my god, I think I already own this book, and then I realised no, I have The Couple Next Door by Shari Lapina, and I haven't read it yet, and I'm really excited to, and I'm really, really happy that I've got this book too, because this sounds really, really interesting. It follows like there's a violent storm, and the group of people get stuck all together, and then there's a killer and nobody can go anywhere else, which is great, isn't it? Yeah, it says crafted like a vintage Agatha Christie and just as tense. So, I mean, I know when they kind of compare stuff, that's not great, but I'm very excited to read this one. And I haven't read any Shari Lapina, and I do need to change that. Then I have a book that is my sister's, but my mum read it and she said, oh, you should read it and give it a go. So she sent it to me. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm going to try it anyway. This is A Shade of Vampire by Bella Forrest, which, as you can probably tell, is kind of what it sounds like, I think. It's a vampire novel. I don't know anything else about it. It's got massive writing, so it's really not going to take that long to read, and it is only like 200 pages long, so I probably will read this at some point. I don't know how I'm going to feel, but we will see, and I'll let you know. This is the third book now that I picked up without knowing anything about it. I just liked the look of it, or the sound of it. This one is Cold Granite by Stuart McBride. I feel like I've heard this author before, but I don't know. This one is A Winter in Aberdeen, and it's a murder. It's the first one in the D.S. Logan McRae series. A 4-year-old David Reed's body has been discovered, and he's only the first. More children are going missing, so I don't know anything about it. It's quite a big book, if I'm honest. It's like nearly 600 pages, I think. Yeah, so but no, I'm looking forward to starting a new detective series as well, and not somebody that I've ever really heard of before. Have you heard of it? Let me know. Another book that I've seen on Emily from Novel Novels channel. This is Dear Mrs. Bird by AJ Pierce. I believe this is a Second World War story about an agony aunt who doesn't like people sending her unpleasantness, and it's about that. It's set in 1941, which is like my favourite time to read about, and Emily loved this, and she said she thinks I'm going to really like it too, so I'm excited to get this one. Then, as I said earlier, I'm trying to read a bit more high fantasy and a bit more fantasy in general, so I saw this in the charity shop the other day, and this is actually book 1 in a series, so this could be fun too. This one is Prince of Thrones by Mark Lawrence. I've heard amazing things about Mark Lawrence's writing, loads and loads. I think Becky from Beck's Books, she doesn't make videos anymore, but I know that she did talk about this one quite a bit. Well, not necessarily this book, but definitely his series, and actually on the back it says it's his debut novel, so that's interesting. I don't know when this came out. When did this come out? This came out in 2011, and I've just opened the page, and oh my goodness me, guys, this is signed. Let me show you. Can you see that? Mark Lawrence. This is so exciting. I did not realise this was signed. It's signed in 2011, the 24th of December. This was signed on Christmas Eve. I'm even more excited about it now. Again, I know nothing about it. It's a high fantasy book I'm very excited about. I'm not going to say excited anymore in this, would you reckon? Do you think so? Only a few more, guys, I promise. So next up, I have the first book in the Dexter series. This is Darkly Dreaming Dexter by Jeff Lindsay. Dexter, if you don't know, is a series, I think it's a police officer. It's a forensic officer who is secretly a serial killer. And I think he has never been caught because he knows how to get rid of it. And I think it's about that. I have not seen the TV series, but I need to. I'm so excited to watch the TV series, and I thought I really need to do this one. This is also Jeff Lindsay's debut novel, so yeah, I quite look forward to reading this one, and then potentially if I like it I can get the other books in the series as well. Then we have Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. I actually had a problem with this book. So this book I don't think is in that bad a condition. Like, it's okay, like it's not brilliant, but I'm only going to read it, do you know what I mean? But there was the woman in the charity shop who was not happy with me because she thought that I don't know what she thought. She was like, that I wouldn't have put that on the shelf. I was like, well, I didn't just pluck it out of nowhere. Anyway, I got it for half the price that it was meant to be because she said she wouldn't put that out there because it was disgusting quality, and couldn't believe why I wanted to pick it up. But anyway, that is a different story altogether. This is about Kazuo Ishiguro, who is imagining the lives of a group of students growing up in a darkly skewed version of contemporary England. Never Let Me Go. Is this... I don't know if I'm imagining this, but is there a movie? I might have seen this movie, Never Let Me Go. I don't know, but I look forward to reading this anyway. And then the final book, I promise, the final book, guys. The last book of this particular haul is Meddling Kids by Edgar Kentaro. I'm really excited about this one. This, I have a special little something happening about, but you won't find that out until the end of this month, into August. But this is kind of a detective novel, kind of a little bit detective, kind of a little bit like horror, like soft horror, I would say. But this is essentially based on Scooby-Doo, which is exciting because, you know, but as I said, you will find out soon when I'm going to be reading this one and what for. So yes, I'm really looking forward to this one. I don't know anything else about it, but Scooby-Doo, that's the buzzword I needed. So there you have it, guys. That is the book haul that I have for basically all the other books other than the ones I got with Charlie and Emily. Like I said, keep your eye out for that one because I don't know when it's going to come up, if it's already here or not. Let me know if you have read any of these books and which ones you think I should start with. Today my shout out for this video is going to be for Mary from the channel with Cinnamon Please. I love Mary's channel, as you might know. I've mentioned her a few times before. She's amazing. She's so kind. We've done a few buddy reads and I absolutely love her. She's always checking in on me to make sure that I'm okay, and I definitely wish that you would all subscribe to her because she's fantastic. Mary is just one of those people who I just want to hug her all the time because she's just so precious. And yeah, she's brilliant. So go and check out her channel if you haven't already and give her some love. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.